Hey guys, what up? It's Dan, aka Hoop Sneakers, and welcome back into the Hoop Sneakers YouTube channel, or the IGTV, or my Hoop Sneakers Facebook page, or wherever else you may be checking out this video. Today I'm finally back. I've got another performance review for you guys. I'm back with the performance review of the Curry brand Curry 8, which, much like the other sneakers that I've done performance reviews on the channel or on the page here so far, these were actually sent to me as well, completely free of charge. So another product I've been seeded to me by the brand. In this instance, they came to me indirectly from Under Armour Australia. I was contacted by Speak Communications, which is a PR agency. They got in touch with me on Instagram, and they said that they were looking after the promotion of the Curry 8 here in Australia on behalf of Under Armour Australia, and sent me a pair of the Curry 8 Golden Flow colourway, which was available exclusively at Foot Locker Australia. So that's how these guys came to me. So I greatly appreciate Snejana and the team at Speak Communications and also Under Armour Australia for the chance to try out the Curry 8s. And then another thing to note, so yeah, obviously note that this review will be completely based on something that was given to me, and so while I try to remain objective in my review of the sneaker, you can take that disclaimer with a grain of salt when I am giving the review. And then something else you guys should know before I get into this review is that I actually have already given the sneaker away to a really good friend of mine. So because I've got a lot of sneakers coming into me, which is obviously a blessing, and I'm really appreciative of it. I've got a lot of sneakers coming in that I don't have a lot of time to play in each one, and I don't just want sneakers to keep piling up at home. So some of the ones that I've been getting sent to me, I've been passing on to friends of mine that share the same shoe size. So I play like rec league or independent league basketball with a really good friend I've been friends with for over 10 years now, and he has actually been wearing the Under Armour Curry 2 for a number of years now, so I thought he's not really a sneakerhead and he doesn't really buy new sneakers very often, so I said to him, hey, I've got the Curry 8s now, obviously, 6 models newer than yours, would you be interested in them? And he sort of tried them on, because I knew he was a similar foot size to me, and from getting sneakers in the past, and he tried them on, and yeah, they fit him really well. I'll get into the fit later, and I'll talk about what size I was sent and what size he is. But yeah, so he tried them on, he really liked them, so he took them. So unfortunately I don't actually have the sneaker here to film the review. I wasn't really thinking about that when I gave them to him. But anyway, I guess without further ado, that takes care of all the introduction stuff, so we should just get into the review. So I mean, with the Under Armour, with the Curry brand Curry 8, the traction is one of the big selling points that the brand has marketed for the sneaker, in that with the Curry 8 they removed rubber from the outsole, so there's no outsole rubber making up the traction, it's all just the foam. And everything that you have heard about this, especially for an indoor hardwood floor, is true. It works amazingly, it's fantastic indoors. It just sticks to the floor. It's unaffected by any dust on the core or debris, and if it doesn't, and even if there is a really bad court you're playing on, it doesn't get caught up in there, because there's no real deep grooves or anything in the outsole. So you just a quick wipe and you're good to go. So yeah, if you pull them out of the box and they're new, you've never taken them outside and you only play with them indoors, and if the traction's exemplary. So if traction's something you're looking for, you should definitely consider the Curry 8. Now, I tested them outdoors as well, because I wanted to see how the outsole did hold up outdoors, and then obviously that's just what I had an opportunity to do. So taking them outside, the traction does work really well outdoors too, especially on the blacktop, or an asphalt, like we call it here in Australia, which was in contrast to the Anta sneakers. They typically work better on the concrete, the smoother surface, and they didn't work as well on the asphalt, whereas the Curry 8 works really well on that asphalt blacktop, and then does have it doesn't work as well on the smoother surfaces. I'm not really sure why, that's just my experience. Now, having said that, you do experience some abrasions and fraying to that foam outsole when you go outdoors. Not a lot. Overall, the durability is they're not going to get shredded out, and you just like after the first couple of wears, you're gonna have to play with them for quite a while outdoors. But they're not going to last you as long as a shoe with a typical durable rubber outsole. So keep that in mind. They'd be okay as part of a rotation of a few sneakers, but not as your sole option for outdoor use. So having said that, when you have taken them outdoors and you do sort of cause the outsole to get some abrasions and some fraying, when you go back indoors, that just means that the outsole, the outsole, the traction's a little bit more susceptible to dust. And on the hardwood, you don't get that same experience you do when they're fresh out of the box. You don't get the exact same bite. You can experience a little more slipping when there's a dust build-up. So you just have to be more conscious of wiping them once you go from outdoors back indoors. It's not a big deal. And I know most basketball players, or a lot of them, won't go with one sneaker from indoors to outdoors or outdoors to indoors, vice versa. So that's just something to be aware of. Well, that was my experience anyway. But overall, the traction's really good, especially if you just pick them up, take them out of the box, and wear them indoors only. Going on to the cushion, much has been made about the Flow technology, which is the cushion, the foam cushion and the foam outsole. So all the midsole tooling all together is Curry brand Flow. Much has been made out of it. It's okay. It's probably better than what has been offered in Under Armour Curry sneakers previously, in terms of offering just a little bit more of a plush feel. But having said that, it's still pretty much just a blend of EVA that's been given a name, much in the same way that the other brands do, with a Phylon or a Bounce or a whatever it might be. But what you do get from the Flow is a very stable midsole cushion. It's very responsive. You get a lot of court feel, so it's definitely a midsole cushioning tech geared towards stability and responsiveness, which does make sense for a player like Stephen Curry, a guard. I didn't think personally that it had the best impact protection of any of the foams that I've tried out, especially comparing it to something like a Zoom Air or some of the like ETPUs that Anta use, like the Ulti Flash. But having said that, if you're someone that does want a really responsive cushion, and you're not someone that's into that really like plush and bouncy feel, you don't want to feel too high up off the ground or too unstable, it's definitely for you. There's definitely people that are going to get a lot out of this setup. Just personally, it's not quite for me, and it's not quite what my preferences are. But we'll move on to the fit of the sneaker. So I touched on this briefly in the introduction. So with the fit, so Speed Communications or Under Armour Australia were only able to send me a size 12. So my true size is generally US men's size 11, and I often go up to an 11.5 because I consider myself to be quite a wide footer. They weren't able to send me an 11 or an 11.5. They did say they had a 12. I said, send through the 12 anyway. I do have size 12 in a few sneakers, not too many, but I have done a 12 before. I thought, yep, send them through, and we'll see how I go, because I can still base my recommendations off that. And then so you can see here, I've still got the box of the Curry 8s, and you can see here that they sent me a men's size 12. So with the 12, like, I think that they were probably just slightly too big for me. I think that an 11.5 would have been perfect for me. So in that case, I would recommend to go up a half a size with the Curry 8. Now, and that's sort of what I was thinking too. So this is why I was thinking that my friend might want them is, I recall, I had a feeling that he was about a half size bigger than me. So like if his true size was 11.5, I thought the 12 would fit him really well, so for him to go up half a size, and they actually did. So I would stay consistent with that recommendation of going up half a size. If you are somebody that really wants that snug one-to-one fit, you really like your toes up against the edge, and you're concerned that the break-in will cause the materials to stretch out on you, you may want to go true to size, but I think that the materials do start out really quite snug, especially for a wide footer. So that my recommendation would be to go up half a size. In terms of the support, It's a really minimal sneaker in terms of like the build, the materials, and the support features, but it does offer you what you need to be a really supportive sneaker. So the 4-foot base of the sneaker is really wide and pretty flat, but it's mainly just really wide. So then it does sort of give you sort of an outrigger, like a lateral outrigger, like the midsole sort of extends out and acts as an outrigger. There's a TPU like torsional support system within the midsole. It's really pretty beefy, so there's like not a lot of flex of the sneaker overall, so that does a good job there of giving you that torsional support. You've got as you'll see in like the images, or most people that are watching this would know what the Curry 8 looks like, but you've got those lateral synthetic leather rands on both sides, which do offer you containment that the knitted upper material, which we'll get to, doesn't always offer you, but you do have that extra like containment, those bumpers on the lateral side there, and they do a really good job of keeping you on top, keeping you on the midsole. And then finally, there's an internal heel counter, which is a decent one. It's not the strongest, beefiest TPU that I've ever seen, but it does the job that it needs to do. It's supported by a small external TPU heel clip, which is more there for design and aesthetics more than actual function. It's not really a performance piece, but it is there. And then, so the support's good. I had no issues with the support in this sneaker. As someone who has had ankle issues in the past, and with it being a low top sneaker, no dramas, didn't worry about support at all. Could put them on, good to go. So if someone's looking for a supportive sneaker that's really responsive and lightweight, again, good option, especially if you prefer to play in low tops and like that that freedom that you have to move with your ankle in a low top sneaker. And then finally, the materials. The knitted, like the knit upper material is really, really nice. It feels real premium. It feels something just like a prime knit from Adidas. So that's really nice. The synthetic leather is okay. It had on the Golden Flow colorway, it has like a patent leather look, really shiny. It would have been nice if this was a genuine leather material, especially they use the same material for the pull tabs on the tongue and the heel. But having said that, it's fine. That's more of a personal preference or like an aesthetic thing over the performance or the function of what the material's there for. So that's just a little bit of a nitpick. But there are some other colorways that are putting... there are some other colorways of the Curry 8 that are using a synthetic leather that more closely mimics the look of real leather. So maybe it's just that I didn't personally vibe with the patent leather look, but you know, that pretty much takes care of it. It's the Curry 8 for me personally is not the sneaker that I would gravitate towards, considering my preference for getting a lot of cushion out of my sneakers. But I appreciate the product for what it is. I think that it is a really good sneaker, especially for those more quicker guard sized players that are shiftier, that are looking for a lot of response out of their sneaker. So like overall, if someone asked me about the Curry 8s, I definitely would recommend them. If that person likes the way they look and they wanted to give them out, they're not going to be disappointed by the performance, in my opinion. So having said all that, you guys can check out the written review of the Curry 8 Golden Flow on the Hoop Sneakers website, which is hoopsneakers.wordpress.com. And on that review, I've got their price, weight, and the score that I gave them, as well as links to where you can get them here in Australia. But having said all that, that's pretty much taken care of it for the review of the Curry 8. I know it's been a while. I'm gonna come back with another video pretty soon. I've got another pair of kicks in from Anta, which I'll unbox on camera. I do just want to check in and do a little bit of a video about hoop sneakers, about the videos that I'm doing, the way I do them, and the content that's going to be involved in them. But yeah, it's just been, it's been nearly 2 weeks since the written review of the Curry 8s came out. It's just been, in between that, there's been a few things going on in terms of like my work shifts that I've had to do, and I've also been sick in the middle of that. Not serious at all. It's not. I'm COVID negative. Was tested for that. It's just a viral infection that I've picked up from somewhere, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm looking to get back into the swing of things now. So like I said, I've got another couple of videos I want to do really soon. So until next time, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. This has been Dan, aka Hoop Sneakers, and I'll see you next time. Peace.